everybody, we are Shane and Emily. We're a band called Arbor Season, and this is our home. Come on in.
Baby, I'm home again.
Right here is our driver's area. We have like a cool little workstation that just goes on top of your steering wheel. That's pretty handy, I think. One of the main things that people ask us about is how we travel with kids, and this is how we do it. We got one of the original bus seats from this bus and we bolted it into the frame. We got some seat belts and bolted those into the frame of the actual seat. And then we built this cool little casing around it that I really like because it provides some extra storage. And trust me, it looks way better with that thing than it did without it. This is one of our air conditioners. It's made by a mini split company, but it's way more cost effective and it works almost just as great. Very energy efficient. This is our couch. Nice little, matches my overalls perfectly. I did not plan that. We have some storage underneath here where we keep like cans, things like that. And we also left this panel as removable so that we could see the level of our fresh water tank so that we can always make sure that we know what's in there. One day we will probably upgrade to those like fancy components where you have a sensor, but until then, this is working just fine. Over here we have our sink where we wash our dishes, and I just painted it with chalkboard paint, which is really, really sturdy. So I don't know, I just wanted to save a few bucks, and so I bought like a stainless steel sink, but I didn't want to go with the stainless steel look. So that's kind of how I fixed that problem. This is our stove and oven. They both work. Facebook Marketplace, we got a sweet deal. We did not install the propane ourselves just because it's a little bit kind of a delicate thing to do ourselves and we don't know anything about it. So we had professionals do that. And this is our refrigerator that I love because it's huge, especially for like an RV bus fridge. It has tons and tons of room in it, and it runs off of only 1.5 amps, which is great if you're running off of solar, and we do. We don't have that much solar, so this is really great. Here's our nice little dining area. This is probably my favorite part of the bus because it always looks good in pictures. We've got butcher block countertop here, some like antique chairs, you know, the eclectic mix and match look going on, and our lamp and our light. I don't know, I just think it's a really cute area. I really like it. And we have a full-length mirror right here. I lived without a full-length mirror for almost 5 years, and that was one of the things that I said, I have to have it. And then if you open this little secret doorway, this is where all of the solar components and things are. We have our inverter in here, our hot water heater, and also a broom and some birthday wrapping paper, because why not? When you need a place for something in a bus, you just find one and you put it there. In here we have our, as Shane would call it, our washroom, because he's Canadian. We have the Nature's Head composting toilet, which we really love. Definitely recommend it. We use a diaper genie for our toilet paper because then we don't have to put it in the composting bin, so it doesn't take up so much room, and this thing locks in any possible odors really, really well. Here we have our bunk room. We have a nanny that travels with us full time because she watches our kids while we're performing, since we play music full time. This is where she hangs out and has all of her millions of cute pictures. I think it's adorable. And down here is our son's bunk bed. He uses it mostly for playing right now, and currently we're using it a little bit for storage because we're getting ready to make some new curtains. So we borrowed a sewing machine that we're going to use. We're really excited. And this is a mural that our nanny actually painted, and I like it. Over here we have storage for the kids stuff. We have every kind of baby lotion, soap, whatever wipe you would possibly ever need for a baby. And we also have just these storage bins that we bought at Walmart. This is where I keep like sweaters. We have toys in here, books in here, and we have a cute little bookshelf up here for like his absolute favorite books, as well as a chalkboard wall for him to color on. Although, as you can see, we probably have more fun with it than he does right now, but he'll grow into it. This is our shower. And this is one of my favorite parts because people are always amazed. They're like, oh my gosh, that's just a steel tub from Tractor Supply Company. And I'm like, yes, it is. It was $30, everybody. So I really like it. We had to like kind of pound down the bottom to make sure that everything would drain properly, but it was totally worth it. I really wanted wall-to-wall mattress because we do the whole, you know, nap time thing back here. And so this way our kids never like are gonna roll off the bed, which is awesome. And it's just really comfortable. Like we have movie nights back here. This is where we have our only TV because I don't really like having a TV in the main living area, but I still wanted to have one. We also have some more storage for clothes up here. This is like yoga pants, Shane's underwear. And in this cabinet over here, we have like all of our winter sweaters. I've got a hat shelf because you gotta have one. And also underneath the bed, we have a bunch of storage where we keep different things like our shoes, some things that we don't use very often, but we could not give up. Like overnight bags. Sometimes we stay in hotels and people's houses and things like that, but those overnight bags take up so much space, so I kept them under there.
So now we're gonna show you the outside of the bus. This is not our dog. All right, so this is our table. Our friend Jessica from the Painted Buffalo helped me make it. She's a lot more handy than I ever will be. And so it folds down, and here is where we can have like outside dinners and picnics and things like that. And it has been so awesome. We used it actually a lot more than I even thought we were gonna use it. So that's really great. And so it locks up just like this. You take the key. This makes it so it doesn't fall down while you're driving down the highway, because that would be awful. So right here, this is our composting toilet vent. So there's always a fan constantly going, and this makes it so it doesn't smell inside of our bus, which is super important. And then we have a pipe up here. People ask what this is all the time. That's our hot water heater exhaust pipe. So that kind of keeps us safe inside. Under the bus is just a bunch of storage that actually came with the bus, which was I'm so grateful for. So I believe it was like an activity school bus, so they would take it on trips and things like that, is my guess. So we put all of our stuff in here. Under here we actually have our gray water tank, so all of our shower water, our sink water, and sink water goes down into this tank. And because we have a composting toilet, this is all we have to worry about. And then back here is probably one of my most favorite parts, and this is our back deck. We extended it out an extra 3 feet. So we can hold our generator, my unicycle, and then we can just hang out back here. And this is Sawyer, our son, who's 3 years old. This is one of his favorite spots. He loves playing up here, and sometimes he likes to jump off when we catch him, and it's so great. So back on this side, of course, we have our 2 air conditioners. They have been awesome. If we had just a little bit more batteries, I think we'd be able to run them both off them without having to plug in. So we have 2 lithium batteries, Battleborns, and they are 100 amp hours. And so that helps, they get charged by our 540 watts of solar, which is on our roof. And again, that does really great. Even on cloudy days, we seem to always be above 80%, which is awesome. Here's our water inlet. So this is where we fill up on our water, and it goes to our 48-gallon water tank, which is inside. And over here is how we plug in. So simply, just like you would at an RV park or in someone's house, which currently we're doing right now. So this is where we keep our batteries and all of our extra cables. And this was super important. This actually is the air relief valve for the tank. So when we're filling up our water, it doesn't expand and explode. So this helps that from happening, which is great. So we chose this lifestyle because we were sick of paying rent at a place we were never at. We were traveling, playing music at colleges and universities around the country. So instead of flying and spending money on hotels, we thought, let's just get a school bus and convert it.
Living tiny has been the greatest thing I could have ever done with my life, and I was the one that had to be talked into it. But it's amazing.
There's always one.
I know there is. It's just amazing how much I've learned that I just don't need that much. Even with having 2 kids in a bus, my mind is so opened up to like, we really don't need that much stuff. It just really teaches you so much patience, being okay with being uncomfortable, and learning how to just kind of like take the obstacles as they come at you and just push past it, because that's your only option.
Yep. The building process for me was really intense because I had no experience whatsoever. And so I kind of figured out everything as I went along. Very, very few YouTube videos. I just had people coming into the bus while I was working at the right time. And different people would just help with different projects. So I think the plumbing was the one thing I did by myself, and that was crazy. I think that took me a few days to figure out. But doing all the electrical stuff, like wiring all the outlets, I had an electrician walk me over FaceTime, which is pretty unique. And then I had about 3 different electricians and electrical engineers check the whole system to make sure that it was safe, that my family wasn't going to be injured. So that was
pretty important.
That was super important. So
I feel like it was so much more difficult than we could have ever imagined, just because every time we would come to a project and be like, oh, this is going to be an easy one, it's like 10 trips to the hardware store later, then you finally are halfway done with it.
Yeah, definitely. But overall, it was a fantastic learning experience.
Yeah.
I would totally do it again. Do not regret it. Yeah, it was great.
We learned so much.
The design for us, like what inspired the design was just...
what can we do?
We had no idea what we were doing. So it kind of just turned out this way, honestly.
Yeah, we were trying to make the build as simplistic as possible and trying to make sure that we weren't having to like run lines of like water and stuff all over the place and back and forth. So we're like, let's try to keep as much as we can on the same side of the bus. So it all came down to like functionality. And it ended up kind of becoming pretty cute along the way. And we weren't really sure how that was going to turn out.
Nope.
But it did.
It really
Some
did.
must-haves for us were definitely
bunk beds.
Bunk beds, big deal for us.
Air conditioning.
Air conditioning, yes. We really wanted to have solar. That was like a must-have.
Solar was honestly one of the main reasons we wanted to do a conversion. I know that you can take an RV and do the whole solar thing, but yeah, just kind of starting from scratch. Solar was a must-have.
Definitely.
A fridge. You wanted a big fridge.
I wanted a really big fridge.
You wanted a king-size bed.
I did want a king-size bed.
So we kind of worked around. Oh, and keeping one of the original bus seats for our kids to have a car seat bolted in. That was a must-have for us too.
I know definitely like car seat safety in buses is like a hotly debated topic, just because it's a hard thing to figure out. And so for me, I was like, whatever we have to do to make that happen, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah. So some advice that we would give is you're always gonna want to look at YouTube videos or read posts and blogs about this lifestyle, but you don't really know what to expect until you jump in and do it. And the community is just incredible. Like
it's a family.
It's a family.
Yeah.
Like the second you jump in, you've made about 50 new friends instantly, at least.
Yeah, you're just like so openly welcomed. And definitely like advice that I would give is remember Murphy's Law, because if something can go wrong, it will. And if you can go into it prepared, knowing that your bus is going to break down at some point, something's going to break in your bus. There's going to be hot days. There might be days when your air conditioning or your solar or something doesn't work.
Yeah.
You have to be prepared for it, because it's going to happen, just like life in general. But if you can have a good attitude about it, it will make you a way better person, and you'll have a lot more patience in other areas of your life. But be okay with being uncomfortable. Sometimes it's really hot, sometimes there's mosquitoes, sometimes it's really cold, and sometimes it smells so bad when you're driving down the highway. So bad.
Our gray tanks, we're trying to figure that out.
We need to figure that out. But it smells really bad when we drive sometimes, and that's a hard one.
Yeah. But for me, personally, there's no downsides. It's just been incredible through and through. Just a great time.
It's not like he's an optimist or anything, though.
It was honestly super easy for me to get insurance. I did not find it difficult at all. We called Allstate and they figured it out.
However, that's state by state. Like there are some states where it's way easier, and since this was titled and registered in Florida, that's one of the much easier states to get insurance. So definitely look into your options as far as that goes with different states. And there's lots of useful groups on Facebook that you can ask about that.
This is a 1991 Bluebird Skoolie.
It has a Cummins
school bus.
5.9 engine.
Yes, it does.
Great engine.
And that's all that we know.
It's 40 feet long, 43 with the back deck.
Yep.
And it works.
Yep, it works.
Yep.
Brilliant.
That's literally all that we know. Good job. Hey, we built a bus, but we might not be able to fix the engine if it breaks down. Although, you did fix the accelerator rod on the first day that we hit the road, and our bus broke down literally the first day that we hit the road.
We did.
That's a whole story.
Yes.
Oh, but you fixed it. on the 4th of July while fireworks were going off. It was very magical.
Thanks so much, everybody, for hanging out with us. We are Arbor Season. You can find our music on Spotify. We have a YouTube channel. We have Instagram and Facebook and all those things.
And we travel all over the country, so if you want to host a house show with us, reach out. It's what we do.